But we have to recognize the massive institutional weapon that this whole idea of race has. And it is a complete distortion project wielded against the American people, I believe, to confuse the minds of the American people. Let's listen to this CCP spy. This is someone who is named Linda Sun. And again, there was an indictment unsealed about a week and a half ago alleging that Linda Sun and her husband, but we'll focus on her since she worked for the New York State government, used her capacity in the New York State government to, quote, act as an undisclosed agent of the government of the People's Republic of China and the Chinese Communist Party. Here's a video of Linda Sun. This is when she was working as the chief diversity officer of the New York State government. How fitting that a CCP spy would be the chief diversity officer. This is her talking about the need for more race scrutiny and the need for institutionalizing DEI.
So at the state, we created this program called ADAPT, and it's basically making sure that there is one person at every single state agency that answers directly to the commissioner or the highest person in that particular agency that makes diversity and inclusion and equity a top priority.
Do we have another clip of her? That one was excellent evidence. But do we have the other clip of her talking about her tie? Yes, we do. Let's roll
for
that.
the state. I think, when people say diversity and inclusion, I think everybody agrees, or most people generally agree that it's a good thing, right? But I think right now we also need to bring in the word equity, right? Diversity is when you say that there's, many different types of people with different backgrounds and they're all, invited to the table. Inclusion is when, we include all of their ideas. But equity is when we make sure that all of the people who are at the table have equal access to making sure that their ideas and their thoughts are heard. And unfortunately, I think some of the statistics that you quoted is that we don't have that much leadership or representation of Asian Americans in, the corporate world, the government field, right?
It is such gaslighting. Are you kidding me? There's a similar strategy here that is invoked. So we hear that Linda Sun, the CCP plant in Governor Kathy Hochul's administration, and she, by the way, served under Governor Andrew Cuomo as the Director of Asian American Affairs, the Director of Economic Development of the New York State government, then the Deputy Chief Diversity Officer, then the Superintendent for Intergovernmental Affairs, and the Chief Diversity Officer at the New York State Department of Financial Services. We hear this individual is going on about how there isn't enough Asian American representation, as she, an Asian American, is running Asian American affairs and the DEI office. And we see it's similar to the debate. We see, this idea of why is it appropriate to weigh in on the race of the candidate? It's like making this whole race idea such a boogeyman when really it's not. It's unbelievable. And Donald Trump answers, I don't care about the race. And so we see that this race card is very selectively but comparably wielded. And it raises the question, if we're looking at institutional decay here in the media and in the government, why do they think that this is so effective to bring up over and over?